This episode may contain graphic language and descriptions, nicotine use, and may not be suitable for younger audiences. Opinions expressed in this episode are of the minds and experiences of the participants and do not represent those of any other people, organizations, groups, or recovery-based fellowships that may be mentioned. We speak only for ourselves.
God bless you. We love you, and we hope you hear something that helps you. Thanks for listening.
What kind of inspiration gonna come in?
I don't know, dude.
Come on, get your sour mood about the fills out. Lead us on.
Nah, bro, I am remaining optimistic
I don't know if I believe you. I don't blame
as much
you
as I
either.
can. As much as I can.
They look weak. They look hitless.
They look disheveled,
They look
bro.
heartless.
They look different. I mean, even if they were doing well right now, like Taiwan Walker pitched today, right? But I mean, we still could be hitting better. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Right now, that's great. Right now, the Phillies are down 3-0 in the top of the sixth.
with 3 total hits, 4. 2 doubles, 2 singles, nothing to show for it.
Get your sour grapes about the Phillies out. Yeah. So we are back. Peeling
We're
onions
here.
time.
It's fucking beautiful outside, dude.
Yeah, I need to.
Spring has finally arrived. We can count on 60s to 70s every day. The grass has grown in. My dogs are happy. I'm happy.
Excuse me. Yeah, we need to start like saying like more podcasty and like YouTubey stuff at the beginning of these, like other social media shout outs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't have anything prepped right now. But next time I will. Been a little bit. A lot has probably happened. Maybe nothing has happened.
Probably both.
Maybe both.
Definitely both.
Possible.
Yeah, dude.
Possible.
We go through
Very
cycles
possible.
with that shit, they tell me.
That we do. Won't lie, my feng shui is a little messed up because you decided to sit over there, and now I'm over here.
Yes. Yes, dude. I just needed a different seat, man. Sometimes the same exact thing gives you a whole different vibe from a different seat.
Whatever, dude.
Can you spell feng shui? Can you spell hors d'oeuvre?
I could spell hors d'oeuvre, dude. What?
Lay it out
Why?
there.
Why did you?
Because I saw it on an email today about this event that my work's doing. I couldn't spell hors d'oeuvres if you gave me 10 tries and offered me 100K.
Well, now you're making me feel like I don't know how to spell it because I think it's pretty easy.
Hold on.
It's ORDERVA. Hors d'oeuvre.
I'm going to butcher it just so it brings it up. Okay, go ahead.
ORD.
No.
What?
No.
Yes, it is, dude.
No.
Hors d'oeuvre?
Yes.
What is it?
You ready for this? HORS space D space OEUVRES.
Nah,
Right
dude,
there.
nah. I'm talking about American hors d'oeuvres, dude.
It's hard as shit. I couldn't spell it if you gave me 10 tries.
Oh shit. Okay, but like if I type in the way that I want to spell it. It gives me both.
Really? There's an Americanized version of it? Who fucking knew? It's awesome. Somebody was just like, we're going to create a...
The spelling that you found does seem to be more popular, but the way that I spelled it is definitely a way to spell it.
Yeah, it's the French way.
Oh yeah, fuck the French, bro. Who's got time for the French anywhere, but especially here?
Yeah.
Fuck the French. We don't like the French, except for Gojira because they're French. We like Gojira. Yeah, dude. Been a little bit since we did this whole thing. Eagles got their pick last night, or probably the pick that was left.
Do you think that they're just more focused? I mean, it's one pick in, but do you think they're more focused on defense?
I don't know. I honestly think that it was a Vic Fangio pick more than anything. They were also, it's really weird because they were trying to move up, like, I'm pretty sure around like at least 7 spots to try to get him because they thought that he was going to be taken. Like every mock draft that I remember seeing had him, excuse me. Oh God. I think the latest that he was picked was 19 to Tampa Bay. And he just kept falling and falling and falling. I feel like the whole Browns and I feel like everything the Browns did kind of fucked a lot of stuff up. Just like moved everybody's board around kind of. You didn't watch it, did you? So the Browns traded out of, I can't tell, like football trade packages when it comes to picks. There's just like 75 million things in every goddamn trade, and I can't remember all this stuff. And they traded out of the second pick, the Browns did, to Jacksonville, who's moving up from 5. So they basically traded away Travis Hunter. You know about the Travis Hunter kid.
So I got to be honest, I know little about any of the players.
Okay. So the one thing that you got to know is Cam Ward was the consensus first quarterback, like the top rated quarterback and number 1 pick. Any other normal quarterback draft, he's probably not even I don't think he would even get picked in the first round, probably. But it's like, so it's like him. What's the other guy? Jaden Monroe, something like that. I could be totally butchering that name. Shador Sanders, Deion Sanders' kid, and Jackson Dart.
Which one of them went to the Giants?
Jackson Dart. The Giants, everybody in that organization is going to be fired by mid-season. Dude, they have to be. Like, I don't understand why they traded into the first round to pick up a quarterback that was not going to be picked up. Nobody there was taking a quarterback. There was like, they could have traded up in the second round, maybe, or I don't even know. They would have had the third pick in the second round too. I think because they just mirror right throughout the rounds. They would have been able to get him. I don't understand what they're doing, dude.
I don't think anybody does.
I mean, it's great for us being in the division, but
they're lost. They're completely out to left field. Like,
I couldn't believe it, dude.
No, like if I was who's their receiver again?
Malik Neighbors.
I would not want to play for them.
Oh my God, dude.
Dude, like I just don't see them putting together a franchise for a minimum of 5 more years.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, Tommy Cutlets, right? Tommy DeVito. Tommy Cutlets is trash. Like this kid is already better than Tommy Cutlets, probably. And then you sign Russell Westbrook, who still has some stuff left in him.
Wilson?
Did I say Westbrook?
Yeah.
I feel like I did that the last time we did this. But he's a ball player, right?
Player.
Yeah. Russell Wilson, sorry. The guy that was from the Steelers last year. Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, who was on the Browns last year, who is like one of my favorite human beings on the planet because he's just, the personality that guy has is just like, it's just so funny. At the Super Bowl, like pregame pressers that the Eagles and the Chiefs players were doing on the field, Jameis Winston got up in the reporter scrum when Saquon was when Saquon was at the podium. He was like, he said, "Yo, Saquon, like, I'm trying to get a job. Like, you know anywhere that I can get a job right now?" Because Cleveland had just let him go. Cleveland had just let him go after the season ended, I believe. And Saquon was like, "Yeah, I heard the Giants is hiring." And he ends up on the Giants. Like, it's hilarious. He said, "Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to them." He's great. He's really funny.
They're gonna suck, dude.
I mean, thank God.
I will not pick up Malik Neighbors. And like, it's going to be tough, dude. The fantasy draft is going to go down. He's going to be high because he had a good year, but he's just on one of those teams where you don't know what the fuck they're going to do, dude. Just can't risk it.
I feel like there's no way Russell Wilson doesn't start I feel like there's absolutely no way. If they try to start Jackson Dart over everybody, you bet your ass, I would say like by week 4, like those fuckers are out. Like it's
kind of a weird.
It's
like, I
embarrassing.
don't think he'll start either, dude. But we're in a weird time where rookie quarterbacks get a shot. It used to be like you're sitting 2-3 years, but look at these recent stories, man.
Well, that's why Jalen Hurts is better, right? That's why I don't think Drake May is too bad, because he sat for a little bit. The Patriots kid.
You remember how much we hated our coach in the 2020 season for sitting Carson Wentz for Jalen Hurts? Dude, people people hated it.
I wasn't as into football then as I am now. But
so Carson Wentz was just like sucking.
Yeah, he ended up being a head case.
Yeah, little glimmers of hope, but just sucked.
Yeah.
And they sat him for Hurts, and people were just like, it's such a mistake. Didn't do anything that year, and look at him now, dude. Super Bowl champion. But
I think we repeat, and like I'm sticking to that. I'm very excited to see how he does with all the draft stuff tonight. I'm actually going to record it.
I'm just a little bit worried because I think that the defense we put up last year will be remembered throughout the ages as, like, you know how people always reference like the Bears of '85 or whatever it is. Like, dude, we were so dominant last year, and I'm just like, if our defense takes a step back, what do we look like?
I agree with you, but I also disagree with you. Not because we aren't good enough to be, but because I don't think people will ever give that kind of remembrance and credit in history to a team from Philadelphia. I don't think they'll ever do that.
Too many haters, dude.
I just don't think they will.
Haters.
Especially the Eagles.
Yep.
Oh, you threw batteries at Santa 25 years ago. You guys are pieces of shit. You can't go down in our book. Eat a dick, bro.
It was batteries too. I knew it was snowballs.
Oh, I don't know. I was just exaggerating. It was snowballs, but like, yeah. Flyers fired their coach and their power play coach.
You told me that.
Oh, the power, bro. I got half a chub just thinking about it, man.
They fired the head coach.
Yeah, they fired the head coach with 9 games left in the season. Because he's like, I could go on a whole thing about John Tortorella and explain that to you, but that's like for a different time. I'm just making sure to record the draft so I can just start it from the beginning later. Okay. A lot of their up and coming players are starting for the playoffs in the minor league hockey system and kind of killing it already. We have 7 picks in the top 50 picks this year. We have a back-to-back pick in the second round, which is kind of wild, like really wild. Like second round picks in every, I don't know about basketball or baseball, but I know in football and hockey, second round picks always end up being more valuable than first round picks because guys go back to the hotel room, don't sleep until like 4 a.m. with all their whiteboards and they're connecting a bunch of dots and seeing who fell and who they can get for what value and whatever. So it should be fun.
A lot more more strategy just because there can be.
Yeah.
Not that there's not strategy in the first round, but.
Right. Yeah. So, Matvey Michkov, our Russian rookie, the savior of the Flyers franchise, led all rookies in goals and almost in points in the regular season, but he fell a little bit short of that. I think by like, I don't know. It was by like single digits. It was between him and like 2 other skaters and a goalie. And he straight up said, yeah, there were a bunch of times when I could have scored more and I'm disappointed in my season. And it's like, bro, you're like this 19-year-old came to a new country, still needs a translator, played under the most hated coach probably ever. Like that's why it's like a long story with this guy. He limited his minutes and still ended up scoring the most goals, still ended up having like one of the highest point totals on the team. And he's like, yeah, not good enough.
He plays his own game.
I fucking love it, dude.
I love it, dude.
Oh, I'm so excited for this kid, man. You got no idea. We haven't had a player like this since like Eric Lindros, dude.
So
That's forever ago.
Take a quick little commercial. First and second, nobody out. I will not look over there again.
Well, it depends on who's batting, bro.
Boom just walked.
Bohm just walked. So that would mean it's Rojas.
Wouldn't it be Real Muto?
Bohm's been batting eighth a lot lately, I thought.
Just have him bunt then.
But in this situation, you probably like pinch hit for... Well, Cody Clemens is going through waivers. I don't know if anybody claimed him. So that probably means it's like Sosa or Cal Stevenson. It is Stevenson.
Guy looks like he can run.
He had one incredible game last year and like hasn't really done much of anything else. I don't know how his average is a quarter. This is great podcast content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're in a sad sports time right now, dude. Just kind of seeing what the Phils do. Just waiting it out. Getting
Go
pumped.
Birds.
Don't want to skip over the summer, but go Birds.
Go Birds.
You know.
Yeah. Any NFL draft going on. NHL draft lottery will be in I think a week from Monday, maybe. I turned 31 on Monday. And then we have the NHL draft. NHL playoffs are just absolutely unbelievable, dude. I will never understand why everybody and their mother isn't a hockey fan, at least during the playoffs. I don't get it. It's just a bunch of really strong dudes just flying at each other at twice the speed that they normally do on razor blades on a sheet of ice. It's absolutely incredible, dude. The entertainment is just like unmatchable.
I really don't understand why it is, dude. I was saying that to somebody recently. I was like, it's one of those sports that people struggle to transplant into. So
Yeah.
like people do not struggle to transplant into football. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
People can like go to a baseball game and enjoy it, right?
They know the songs.
Basketball, not so much. But dude, hockey and maybe not soccer either. Yeah. Hockey, you just don't get a lot of lifelong baseball, basketball, football fans that all of a sudden love hockey. I really don't know why. I was like saying to somebody, I was like, dude, I've tried. Like, I've tried again and again and just can't.
I don't blame people, dude. I don't blame people. So as far as actual podcast stuff that we talk about, you went through like a whole laundry list of shit right before we started.
Yeah, dude.
That you have going on. Not like specific instances, but just like general
character development.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, that you've been going through.
Yeah, like just to kind of throw a list of like a couple out there, man. And I'd love to hear like if and how this is showing up for you, or maybe even just adding to the list, right? And we'll pick something we wanna peel. Like one big thing that I've been working on for a while that is a real lifelong journey for me is just bottling less and expressing more.
Okay.
You know, and it's funny, dude. Like I remember when I was going through the steps.
Yeah.
My sponsor used to like nudge hint at the importance of having conversations when needed.
Okay.
He wasn't like a big like, you know, he didn't go like straight JP with it. Because JP goes much more that direction. Like JP goes much more in like the you'll regret what you don't communicate kind of direction.
Yeah.
But he would definitely nudge me to do that. And I don't know like why I didn't. It was probably not wanting to be like vulnerable or not wanting like people to not like me or respect me, but like I was a slow grow with that. I would still hold a lot in. And that's definitely been like huge on my list right now. So
yeah, I there's definitely just in like my life in general, I was just kind of tired of I was just kind of tired of like not saying what I wanted to say. And it proved to be, when I thought it was like a safer option, that may be true for like outside consequences that I thought might have come from it, but my my personal consequences and like how it would never negatively impact how I view myself and my self-worth and all that kind of stuff was very much still a thing. And then when it came to my relationship, I don't know. I just kind of I don't know if I also attribute it to just getting older. You know, like old people, they just say shit. You know what I mean? Because like, bro, I don't got time. Like, I'm just gonna say it.
I think that's part of why I'm like doing this now.
Yeah.
Is probably just because I woke up one day and was like, I just can't fucking bite my tongue anymore, dude. Like, you know, forget about the world out there, dude. Just like whatever little environment I'm in for the day, I just got shit to say, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I just woke up one day and it was like that. You know.
For me, like restraint of pen and tongue is huge, right? Like, if it's like ill-motivated stuff and stuff that I want to say from a reactionary place based out of like unchecked emotion, I guess. Excuse me. But sometimes like not saying stuff to me just feels like I'm lying. And that was a big motivator in just being more outspoken. And like, while yeah, it actually does bring like more conflict and some like argumentative moments, especially at work. Even if I may like catch a resentment, I'm still pretty happy that I said what I had to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, like from a spiritual angle, man, one of the things that I really, really kind of like stunted with, meaning like didn't probably grow with because I just didn't know it till I knew it, was like for me, I don't want to say this like it's true for everybody, like this is my opinion. You can't really live life and only show people your good side. It'll never work, because like I have a side that's angry and competitive and impatient and rude and emotional, but it's like for so long in recovery, man, I just whitewashed it. And by in recovery, I mean like trying to be a good dude, taking inventory, trying to help others, trying to like really become this like really good man, right? I just left all that behind, and I'm glad that I did, because I got to develop in other areas. But I just kind of like one day as I got a little older started to realize like, dude, you can't just like hold that side out, man. Like it doesn't work. And I don't think I ever realized that's what I was doing, because I never consciously did it. Like I never sat there and was like, all right, I know that this thing is really important, but I'm just going to withhold it because of whatever. It's a very like subconscious, you know, fucking kind of inner twist.
Yeah.
But I really like kind of realize that now, is that especially the people that love me, man, like they got to see that other side.
Yeah. 'Cause, I don't know. I feel like if I see, sometimes I can look up to somebody that seems like even keeled and like the same all the time, but also for some reason there's like, it can also produce like a hint of like disingenuous and like suspicion. Like I'm just like, what are you about? Like, what are you hiding? Like you got something. Everybody's got something.
Yep.
Like, what is it? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, dude, I think that I thought perspective was a little too optional. I think that I thought that like my view on life was a little bit too optional, meaning that like every day with some good little bit of quiet time and good fucking direction for the day and good motives and good habits and practices, I could just maintain a good perspective all the time. And if I slipped and fell a little bit, I could get right back on the horse. But I guess I'm kind of realizing now, dude, that like I was talking to a friend yesterday. We were talking about exactly this. And he was saying how like years 5 to 10 of sobriety have been harder for him than the first 5. And I basically was like, yup, me too. Exactly what happened to me. You know, and what he was kind of saying was just like, dude, I still want to portray myself in a way that people like. Not, and it does, he was like, it doesn't feel super phony, but it's a way where it's like it's safe and people like it and I'm positive. And he was kind of saying like, it's really, really important to me, but I think he's realizing that it kind of comes like at his disadvantage.
Yeah, like it's a real, it sounds obvious when you word it like you're just trying to like people please, but I also feel like that's a lowballing what the experience actually is, because it's not, it feels deeper than like surface level people pleasing.
Yep.
It's like, it's not, I think it's because it's almost, it's not on purpose. Like, I knew that I was a people pleaser before. I knew that I tried to act a certain way around certain people and not say no and not show any of like my defective sides, like in sobriety, I mean. And then at some point I'm like, okay, well that's just like I can't be a people pleaser all the time, right? And like you learn that eventually in the rooms. But then you start to see like, I feel like a lot of it was in the rooms. Like I had to have my AA look the way that everybody else's did, and have it be the way that everybody said it should be. Like, while I think it should contain everything that people say it should contain, like I thought like there was like a thing to fit in still. And I don't know. It's definitely not like just regular people pleasing though. Like it's like, fuck man. It's like trying to be like so honest and good that you end up being somebody that you're not. But it's not like really to please other people. It's more of like to please yourself. But you're hurting yourself and I don't know, dude. It's just deeper.
See, like this is the part I think where like for me growth gets like really real, and I got to go back a little bit because like you just said, like if I sit there and I say, all right, dude, why are you people pleasing? Because I like other people to be happy. Yeah, that's not really it. Because I don't like conflict. Okay, that sort of makes sense, but that's not really probably it. And then the shit gets really real where I start to look at like, I think that I people please because it's a message that I formed in my head in my formative years to survive my household and my environment. And it's so fucking ingrained in me that like it's just like an auto recall that I go to. Like, and I, you know, I think about it, man. I'm like, well, what other options do you have? And they're like limitless, dude. I could be a dick. I could get aggressive. I could tell people that I'm super pissed off. I could, like the list goes on and on and on. But I keep defaulting back to the same pattern, and I don't know why. And like, not that the time frame of when it formed or whatever is important, but like, I don't know, man. I'm noticing a couple of those things in big ways in my life where it's like you said, it's not here, man. It's like way under here on the subconscious level. Yeah. And it's not really about like putting my finger on it for me. It's just about acknowledging that like it is that deep. And that's just like where I'm at and who I am. You know?
Yeah. And I think a lot of times that just like you don't really look at that until you experience like enough discomfort in order to like realize it, just like anything else. Like pain is, I mean, you could say like the whole pain is the touchstone thing, right? But like really it's like pain just like peels the curtain back and like shows you like, dude, it's this, like it's always been this, you know, it's been this, like
Yep.
That's what it's always been, and it also reveals like new motivation to do better.
For sure, man.
You know, like when I first, just like people pleasing in general, there were always, well, like what I really loved about like the recovery community's mess. I hate that I just said that about like people in AA and shit. I hate the word community now just because of like the whole like how often it's used in politics. It's like 90% of the time, dude, like do you know what the word community is? It's like you're not talking about communities, dude. Most of those communities fucking hate each other when you get into the community. It's not you know, whatever.
It's all identity politics.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Just like this fucking Phillies game. And they when they pointed out like just like very subconscious snap reaction lying and people pleasing. Like if I ask you, it's so simple. Like this is one of the things that I practice at RCA a lot. RCA was like my playground for AA's spiritual principles and new tools to implement within myself and my life. I would just go in there and just start practicing shit because there's people everywhere. And like when you're in the office and you pass somebody at work and they're like, "Oh, how you doing?" What do you say? "Oh, I'm
Hey,
good."
how's it going?
I'm like, "Oh, I'm good. How are you doing?" Like you're full of shit. That's it. That's it. And like that's it sounds maybe a little like micromanagey and overbearing and maybe too like meticulous of a detail to try to correct. But when I started like not just saying that, like instead what I do is like I take a second. I literally I'm like this. I'm like, I'm doing all right. You know, if I'm doing all right, and if not, I'd be like, I got some stuff going on, but like, I'll probably get through it. It'll be whatever. If they care enough to ask, like, I'll share it with them, like whatever, because I'm an open book, because I have to be for myself. And yeah, it started with like really little shit like that, and then it grew into other things because then when I would learn how to catch myself when I was about to do that thing, you have experience in like almost witnessing you about to do the defective action from like a third person point of view, and then you can act on it like right away. But you don't know that and or attune yourself to that kind of experience and tool set if you don't realize that it's something that you need to look at first. That's a lot of words. But if you're not looking for it, you're not going to see it. And
at the end of the day, man, I think that what you're like going at is like the importance of being an authentic human being.
Like down to like as small as you can. Like but it's not keeping you up at night, right? But trying to be genuinely like cognizant and just not, because like I'm lying there. You could say like lie, like it's not malicious and it's not hurting anybody, but it's not honest. Mm-hmm. And that was just a standard that I had to hold myself to early on.
So the I'm one of the people that will say, "I'm all right, how are you?" Even when I'm not. Mm-hmm. I'm the type of person that says, "I'm pretty good," right? The furthest I will get with authenticity is I will make a rhetorical statement that is true but can't be rebutted. Such as, "Well, I'm doing better than I deserve. How about you?" That's a fucking true statement, dude. If life were fair, I'd be dead.
Yeah, but bro, just like go back to the clubhouse, bro. Like keep that shit in the clubhouse. Get out of here. Oh, you're one of those good to be seen people.
I love it.
Good to be seen. My voice is cracked so hard. Good to see you. Oh, it's good to be seen. Like, go fuck yourself, bro. Like, I didn't ask you if it was good to be seen. Like, Jesus Christ. Always got to like try to one-line me. I'm just trying to greet you.
That's the truth though, man. Is like For years,
Get
I went
fucked,
to
bro.
a place where I felt like everything in my life had to be glossed over with shiny paint.
No, but it's
And
yeah,
it fucked me,
yeah,
dude.
I
Like
understand that.
I didn't get the opportunity to just like I used to sit in meetings and listen to the people where every time their hand went up it was negative. Oh, my fucking dog and my girl and my this and my that, and I'd be like, just fucking kill me.
Yeah.
But you know what, dude? Now I respect those people more than ever.
I actually haven't really thought about how much I have gotten away from that in meetings just naturally, not trying to like in the city once in a while I would consciously like try to stay away from a meeting if I felt it was getting like too complainy. If somebody new had started going there, because that would happen in the city like way more often than it does out here. Like somebody would start showing up to a meeting, like they maybe go 3 times a week and then you never see them again. Excuse me. And that I would just not go because I was so tired of like I'm at recovery house and like I can't get out past curfew and they think I'm getting high on my Suboxone and I'm not, I promise. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, dude. Well, like really that's just all my shit. Like me being an asshole and not patient and tolerant. Which is actually could be a segue whenever we get off of this topic. But yeah, dude. I do respect how genuine that is. But I just think that's what fellowship's for.
Yep.
I don't think it's what the meeting's for. That's just my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, it's just you know, being real to yourself and being authentic and like all of that is so important to me today, and like it has been a couple years now. I just feel like I'm finally waking up to some things.
Yeah.
No white light moments, no spectacular upheavals, but like I think my attention is going more toward what's important for me to grow.
Yeah.
And you talked about pain a minute ago, dude, and like when you hear people talk about pain, right? It seems so like it comes and it goes. You're in it and then you get it together and you're out of it. But what's weird is I've had these experiences over the last couple years where pain just stays.
Yeah.
And you can't out spiritual it. And I think that's where people really fucking get wake up calls.
And then
dude.
like all of a sudden this one thing that isn't you having a problem with drugs and alcohol and not being able to get sober is stuck inside of your head as a thought as often as that thought used to be, right? It's like when I was getting high and drunk all the time and being a fucking scumbag, that would go through my head all the time. Even when I was high and drunk, like it would always end up being back. And now that's been replaced with very less often bouts of like very impactful, quote unquote impactful, like negative thinking that are like constant over like days or weeks. But it's more normal character defect shit than the other thing. And dude, something as small as me not being honest to myself will like I'll just think like, dude, you're just a fucking fraud. Like my head will tell me that for like a few days until I'm just like, bro, like what are you doing? But yeah, that shit will stick in my head all the same. And it's weird because it's like those moments of like acting disingenuously or not acting in a way that I would probably rather act that's more honest to myself. Even if it is a bad way to act, sometimes I would rather do that just because it's honest. If I'm being honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like a momentary, like a sporadic moment where I revert back to like denying having character defects or something. Do you know what I mean by that?
Almost like you try to turn your defects into virtues in some way. You spin them into a part of your character that's not defective. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
It's just almost like Hi Lauren. God, I need to make this more clear. It's just almost like I have like I have a front on again, and it's like my defects don't exist anymore. It's exactly just like how it used to be, but just in like one solid little moment. That I might have just like circled all the way back to like a pretty trivial thing, but like whatever, dude. Like I've gotten to a point where I don't need to be like super bubbly. I don't need to be like super personable anymore. Although I am trying to be, because I feel like I can have a lot of antisocial behaviors by default, and I don't really want that all the time. And yeah, so like I'm trying to change some things because I just want to be better at those things, but I don't try to you can't just like deny who you are, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like the way I'm identifying with what you're saying is like when that happens for me, it's usually because
I'm making my own head hurt.
there is something about me I don't like. And
We're just ended up talking about 6 and 7 again. That's where we're at.
you said it, dude. It all goes
roads,
back.
dude.
All
No
roads.
matter what you talk about.
But like I'll kind of realize something about myself that I don't like, and it's not working for me.
Yeah.
And in a lot of situations I don't understand why I'm doing it. Even if it's a trivial thing, like you said. It might not be like a glaring like, yo, you gotta fucking look at this. Something trivial, right?
Yeah.
But I don't like it about myself. I can't figure out why I'm doing it, and I keep doing it. When I get to that place, which comes with a lot of pain,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll kind of take this apathetic approach for a little while, where it's like, I'm just not going to look for a little while because, like, I don't really know what's going on with that. And I don't seem to be, I seem to be getting into, like, analysis is paralysis land.
Okay.
So I'm just going to pretend like it doesn't fucking exist and not self-examine for a little while. And like, it's funny, man, because as I say that out loud, like if I would say that to certain people, they'd be like, yeah, that's not good. That's
But
not
I understand
good.
it.
But it's just like sometimes the idiosyncrasies of like your character and your behavior that are trivial but just exponentially harmful over time. When I feel like I can't get a grip of them, I start to just kind of like I just have this reaction where I pull back, man, and I'm not digging, I'm not talking about it, I'm not trying to work through solutions. It's almost like I'm just sitting with it and letting it be because I don't understand what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And I, the last like really throughout my whole sobriety, I've been there many times. I just think that before I would have tried to just be positive about it to no avail. Whereas now, like, I'm starting to look at it through the lens of, like, dude, this is a serious problem for you. And, like, in time, it's going to work itself out. But, like, apparently you're not ready to let go of this. Like, 6 and 7 in the book, right? Your sponsor asks you in 6, like, yo, so you feel, like, ready to let go? Like, at least try enough to say this prayer and, like, start working the rest of these steps? And you're like, yep, I got nothing to lose, bro. Well, like, it's funny how years later, when you've put a life together, you ask yourself that same question. And sometimes it's like, I don't think I am.
It's funny because it gets me thinking about like a topic that I had brought up when I was chairing the Berwyn beginners meeting, like right by my house, and it was all about patience and having patience, like not only with others or with like progress in your sobriety, but patience in how much progress you see in your own personal growth, right? And a lot of what we're talking about is like the negative effects of it are magnified because I judge myself for arriving at those places. And for some reason, like, start to treat myself like I'm a perfectionist of like attitudes and behaviors, which is like, when the fuck did that guy get here, you know? And in practicing like a lot of, it's not giving myself a pass to be a dick or behave in a bad way, but it's a it's like a passive acknowledgement that like it's going to happen. And like setting high standards for my character isn't a bad thing, but thinking that if I fall short of them, if I adopt like a position of falling short of them is like as equally a bad thing, then like life's going to be so hard. Like my highs are going to be super high and my lows are going to be super low, because it's like, oh, I'm doing my thing and like I'm fucking Jesus, and then it's like I'm the biggest piece of shit ever, and like why can't I just get it together? When it's like one day out of like the last like 3 months that I had a bad day, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like having this spot of like, don't forget you're a human being kind of thing. It goes a long way with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man, I think that like when you really authentically, I'm done with that word for tonight. When you genuinely work the steps, anybody, you know, if they genuinely have a letting go and a dumping out the bag and seeing who they are and trying to clean up the past, like the book promises us, you're gonna wake up. Like it's going to happen. Like you're going to wake up as a human being. You're going to wake up to yourself. You're going to wake up to how you fit into the world. You're going to wake up to like your opportunities and all the shit. And it's funny, dude, because it's like sometimes being awake and seeing how you're behaving and where you're going, it's such a catch-22, man.
Yeah.
But it's I so agree with what you just said, man. Like sometimes I just leave it here when I'm struggling. I just say like, yo, for today, it's good enough that you want to be better in that area. That is literally good enough. Like your ego tells you you won't rest until you're there. And then if you're not there, then you should probably like still be like scrutinizing yourself and beating yourself up and feeling like you need to walk around like an inch shorter.
Yeah.
But maybe the fact that like from a heartfelt place you genuinely want to be better is good enough.
Yeah, like when I get like that strict, stern kind of like disappointed father with myself, which I do think is like a good spot to take in order to like discipline yourself into like proper disciplines. But in falling short when I'm too hard on myself, it's not like I break myself down and then remind myself to be better. I just break myself down. Like there's no positive that follows that when I get in that headspace. You know what I mean? It's not like you're a piece of shit. Here's what you're going to do next time. And it's okay. Like, it's like, you're a piece of shit. This is your 15th time doing this. Why can't you get it together? Like, you're going to lose everything. Like, you're how sober now, you're how old, and you're still acting this way. You still have this going on. And like, I just fucking snowball. Like, there's no end to that. Like, and that's the thing is like, I definitely feel like I've had them. Like, there are mindsets you can have where you're like, we're here again, dude. Like, all right, Jar, like,
Let's go.
we're here again, but like let's fucking go. You know what I mean? But like it's okay. But sooner or later you're gonna have like push is gonna come to shove here, and you're gonna need to make a fucking change. Like I can be that way with myself. You know what I mean? Like more of I don't even know how to characterize it. Like more forgiving, but still stern enough to know that like I made a mistake and not give myself more wiggle room to like keep going in that direction. But a lot of times, dude, I'm just like there's not a layer in hell deep enough for you, bud. you know, and not literally that, but I just I can
feel
get
that. It can feel that way.
I can definitely throw a lot of weight on myself, and not even be comparing myself to anybody else. Just saying like objectively, like, dude, you're a piece of shit, and I can get like that a lot.
See, I like recently I was thinking about that, man, because I was telling my therapist about how I've used that for so long in my life to try to climb up the mountain. That kind of thinking, very doomsday, very you know, strip myself down to nothing in hopes that maybe like something deep will wake up and start to go in the right direction. And like surprisingly, we didn't really dive into that, but I just thought about it because I talked about it, right? But like what's kind of interesting for me is like there was a time in my life where I needed that perspective of thought.
Okay.
Like when you're putting a needle in your arm and you're jeopardizing your life and your freedom and the lives of others and just everything, dude. I think that like wicked stern father, like, listen, dumbass, like, you're fucked up, like, do something is really, really important. Like,
Well, yeah, because
you're
you're at the end, like,
you're dead.
Yeah, like you're
dead.
you're one plunge away from dying. Like you kind of need to be there.
Yep. But what I think I'm starting to notice, and I'm trying to just sit with this a little bit, is like at this point in my life where I've made a lot of like right turns, meaning gone a lot of good directions, made a lot of changes, fallen, changed. I'm noticing that like that kind of thinking doesn't work as well. It's still where my brain wants to go, but it doesn't work as well for me.
It doesn't.
You know, and it's frustrating though, because like I want to be that like old school, like hard knock AA, like shut the fuck up. You don't know anything.
Do you want to be that?
Internally, I do.
Okay.
I don't want to hear it.
Well, yeah, I don't think anybody.
But
wants
I
to hear
want to
it.
be my own judge, jury, executioner.
Okay.
But like I'm just trying to be like recognize that for me it has very little shelf life, dude. It's like a motivational video. Feel great for 4.5 minutes until I wake up and I'm hungry and I want to eat the leftover cheesesteak in the fridge. You know what I'm saying?
Until you get to your destination and you can't watch any more Facebook reels while you're driving.
That's right. That's right. So it's like, dude, it's just it's funny, man. It's like we started by talking about like people pleasing and being more genuine, and it's like I think it all goes together, because for me to just continue to like grow and be more real in who I am, and this is for me, like I'm fine at work, I'm fine in the community, but like for me in my own head, like I want to keep moving along, but I just like I gotta embrace the fact that like that old voice doesn't move the needle.
Yeah, and that voice also, the Phillies are about to get shut out. It's the top of the ninth, 2 outs, full count, 4-0. We'll pause for a moment of silence.
They need
still sick and suffering Phillies fan.
They need some stern daddy in their life.
Oh,
no, they're not.
he caught. Yeah, later, dude. Dude, this could be the Cubs' year. I'm serious. This could be the Cubs' year. They're killing it. Kyle Tucker has probably like over 100 points in fantasy already. What was I gonna say? So like the other thing is like we have that voice in our head that can like go to a certain place, but we know like steps to take in order to do better and act better. Like, we've done it with a million fucking things already. Like we did it with our whole entire life already. But we default to I default to berating myself into being better instead of giving myself the patience and the direction that I know works, which is also really interesting. It's so weird, which leads me to like maybe like the next thing, which is I was thinking on my way up here, like, is I've gotten in more small like time spans of that guy Scott that you have a speaker thing of talks about how he used to walk around like a clenched fist and excuse me, hold I think I'm gonna sneeze. First time ever.
You told us and we're looking at you. Holy shit, you still did it, dude.
First time on the podcast. Oh, I've
Go, Bob.
I've had so many times when I sneeze and I don't, and that's one of my least favorite things ever. So like I get it out. I get it out. Excuse me, by the way. First sneeze on the podcast, maybe.
8 more to go. Full.
I've been I've gotten in like more regular, and I say regular like maybe like every like few weeks or so. I'll have like a few day span where I'm just like super unmotivated, very easily like irritated. I don't know if I would go as far as to say like depressed, but definitely a noticeable negative change in like my mood and my personality, and like my general outlook and any hope that I have or like positive outlooks to the future. Like a lot of it goes downhill. And I mean, I've dealt with that my whole life, but every time that starts to happen, I usually go through the steps again. So I think that's what I'm about to do. Even if I say go through the steps again, it really just ends up being like I take another inventory. Like all the other shit, like I can just do by myself or reading the book. You know what I mean? It's like you can't sponsor yourself, that kind of shit. But like I know, like a sponsor's just gonna tell me what I already know about the rest of the steps anyway. Like I can fellowship and do all that other stuff. But yeah, I think it's time for another inventory in myself, because I was doing it every year for like the first 4 years, and then I stopped and just like dove more into like trying to sponsor people and like just general AA services and stuff like that, trying to rely more heavily on like the nightly and spot check inventories, stuff like that. And yeah, it's been a little bit since I was regimented with like spot check inventories. It's been a long time since I regularly did nightly inventories, and they really helped. Like, it sounds corny as fuck, like everything else in this program that absolutely changed my life. But like, it's one of those things where I thought it was really, really, even though I had already experienced all of like this magic that is in like the spiritual program, I still viewed like nightly inventories as just fucking bullshit. It's like, that's stupid. Like, why do I need to write? Like, I know what happened on my day. Why the fuck do I need to write it down? When literally you could just say that about the 4th step pretty much. And look what that did for me.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I used to do it every single night. Like every single night I would go into the 12 step, the spiritual toolkit app, and write it down. And dude, the perspective I was gaining on myself was like way more than I have on a daily basis now, even farther along in sobriety. And I don't know. I feel like on like I haven't really been I haven't been habitual with like just regular AA stuff like that in a long time. And I feel like it's something that I'm missing. And also like for somebody that is like actively trying to get to know and seek God a little better or differently, that is like an incredible way to do it. Is just like, because it would take me like 5 minutes a night, but I would get so much from it.
Yeah, dude, I really could benefit from a lot of that too, man, because like, you know, I was thinking about this when I was talking to this buddy yesterday. Like, he said something to me like and I've said this on this podcast before, so the first part won't really be like you and I have probably talked about it. Like, he was basically saying what I've said a lot in his own words, which was, I've done a lot of growing, I've done a lot of changing. Why can't the challenges just stop?
Oh God, that's a whole nother thing.
Like, why does it always have to be like the more I build, the more life comes at me? because that's what they don't tell you in spiritual growth, man. Like they don't, they try to tell you in the Bible and like other probably more religious inspired books.
The Bible's so hard to read, dude.
Yeah.
The Bible's so hard for me to read.
Yeah.
It's just because of the language. Like I feel like I'm an idiot.
Me too.
Yeah, but I do want to read it.
But like more philosophical approaches will kind of teach this. I've seen it in quotes in different areas, but it kind of goes like this: like the more that you build, the more that you have to lose, and the more that whatever you believe in will come at you to test it. And like it's kind of funny, dude. It's like I think about being in a strong relationship and how many just attacks can come to that I'll have to like look at and just kind of like really like endure. I look at like the what it must be like for like wealthier people. They've acquired this wealth and now they spend every day worrying about their wealth. And it feels like, economy and market and this and that and COVID and whatever are like attacking what they built. And I think like on a spiritual level that happens, dude. It's like if I'm in a place of peace, I now have all these challenges that are coming at me. It's just kind of this thing that like I've been feeling a lot, right? And him and I were talking about that. It was like I just want to go back to like simpler days. That's what he said to me. That was his words.
Yeah.
I just want to go back to simpler days. And like, I felt the need to say to him, like, as if I could ever say, right? He's not a sponsee. Like, bro, they're never coming.
Yeah.
Like, all you have to look forward to is more of the highest highs, I think. But you're going to continue to be challenged every step of the way. And the only thing you have to look forward to is like the beauty and all that growth. Like I personally tend to believe that like it doesn't really settle down. It just is a life and it's messy, but like it's so beautiful on the other side. What are your thoughts on that? You're stowing over there.
I have a lot, dude. I like to genuinely believe that like we are far more like whenever somebody says simpler times, I think about childhood. And I believe like I don't know. It's almost easier to be like to have more of like a positive mindset and like coping like way of coping with things like from a spiritual angle, like when you're a kid and you don't know any better. But like you would also benefit from having all of those tools from when you didn't know any better now. And not that they wouldn't be like impractical ways to live or conduct yourself or whatever outside of like having a bottle or something or like having a pacifier. Like that's probably not practical as like a 31-year-old, right? But I don't know, man. Like if I'm like I feel like simple and complicated is all just based on like current perspective or whether or not you are outgrowing things that used to make your life simple, like yesterday. Like, and that's I don't know. Like when I start to, that's another reason why I've been thinking about like going through and like shedding a bunch of like old skin again is, well, one, I feel like I feel like I have to do it every so often. And it's kind of on this topic. And that is, I mean, when I first went through this process, I shed a bunch of old, like and the book talks about it, like old ideas, old perspectives, old ways of living that used to work at some point, but they don't anymore. And I mean, the first time I did that was when I was 22. The last time I did it was when I was probably like 26 or 27. And I'm about to turn 31. Like, my life is different at 31 than it was at 27. Definitely than it was at 22. So, like, my life's going to change. my life from when I was 10 definitely changed up till I was 22, and I still had the same coping mechanisms and skills and tools that I had when I was 10, and didn't let myself grow at all. And like if I try to keep myself like, and it's not like a conscious effort, it's just like it's like spiritual growth complacency, where like I can go years just like keeping with like the same like operating system and never letting myself update with the world around me as it grows and as I encounter like new people, new places, new things, and new aspects of society. And like all of those things require different ways of operating. And if I try to do a lot of this recording shit with like Windows 98, my computer's going to crash because it can't handle it. It doesn't know what to do. And I really think that like human spirituality and getting older, both in age and changing in environments and surroundings in general, like operates a lot of the same way. And when I start to get really frustrated and start to think that I'm experiencing more challenges than I used to, it's usually because I'm either not applying the tools that I need to for the situation, which a lot of times is it, but I'm carrying a lot of... Damn, dude, I was on a roll, dude.
Let me shut that curtain.
I gotta edit this shit out. Ridiculous.
Knock it off. Knock it off. The kids playing, the dogs walk.
Yeah. Hey, bark, bark. My name's Chico. Hey, bark, bark. Imagine me talking about your Mexican dog is the thing that gets us canceled. Hey, bark, bark.
All right, keep going on your roll, dude.
So like if I'm still trying to operate with like, and like while I've been unknowingly accumulating like enough stuff to write another 4-step for the past 5 years, and that stuff is influencing me in like an imperceivable way, like it was when I first thought that a 4-step wasn't going to fix anything, then like, yeah, like life is going to seem more challenging if I'm trying to use the same tools that I was using for this environment, but I'm in a new one. Life is going to be more challenging. And when it comes to like simple or complicated, I just really think it can boil down to, well, most of the time for me, it boils down to like my side of the street. Usually it's nothing like life has always been life and will always be life. You know, I don't think I'm that philosophical or like a fucking prophet in saying that. Like it's just me. And that's, well, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah,
dogs
dude.
Fuck me up, dude.
Dude, it's really funny how like I almost had a rebuttal to my own statement that I just made. And it comes from this experience the other night. Like, remember you came over on Wednesday night?
Oh, one of the 5 times we tried to do this?
We had technical difficulties, but so
I forgot a part.
so technical difficulties. So I don't want to out you, dude, you know?
That's all right. We're honest, bro. Remember?
Yeah, but we'll let you do that like you just did.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this in response to my own statement. So when I was a kid and I lived in simpler times, if I were to look at like just one basic common thread, I was able to quiet my mind. Like it doesn't mean when I was 15, I sat there and meditated. Maybe I was skateboarding. Maybe I was 16 driving in my piece of shit Ford Escort, but I was able to quiet my mind.
You're just able to brush, like, you were able to not take life so personally.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's kind of funny about like the states that I get into today is and we talked about this in another podcast, man, like when my brain is on overdrive, there is no relief. There's just the next thing.
Yeah.
So like some of the common stressors that I have is like continuing to grow at work, taking care of the house, handling like the appointments and the dogs and like the basement project and like trying to hit meetings and like trying to communicate with my golf friends to pick what course we're going to and all that, right? And like, do you ever have any crusty old dudes in AA ask you this question? You had to have heard this. Are you a human being or a human doing? You ever hear that? What the fuck, dude? I've heard
I'm sorry, bro. I was just about to make like really inappropriate jokes. I'm sorry. But no, I've never heard.
So I've been asked that by at least three crusty old dudes in AA. And like it's so true, man. It's almost a rebuttal to what I just said, which is like
That's like an instant resentment line, dude.
yeah. But like the other night when you were on your way over here, I got this great idea when I got home. Nice. I'm not gonna meditate, like I'm not a scheduled meditator, right? I'm not gonna like try to pretend like it was super spiritual. It wasn't. This is what it looked like. You just drove an hour and 2 hours home. You drove from Ballakinwood to Royersford and then back here. I left work at 4:02 and got home at 6:07, right? And you were coming over at like 7:30. So I got this genius idea. So when I get home, I'm not going to turn the TV on. I'm just going to sit on the couch in silence.
Okay.
And I did that. And dude, like, it was amazing. Surprise, surprise, right? I looked over at one point and Chico was laying right here so peacefully. And Reba was laying right here so peacefully. And I was just sitting there like quiet mind.
Yeah, you had a moment.
And all of a sudden I had no problems.
Yeah, that shit's sick, dude. Yeah. It's so weird when, not to like interrupt, but like it's so weird when you finally like, even if it's the smallest step and for just a small amount of time, you finally fucking try something and then you just end up being in a moment that you just, not that you never thought was possible, but is like something that you absolutely didn't expect. Like the most pleasant, like surprise and like growth. And it's, you all of a sudden it's just like, shit. Like it's quiet. My head's quiet. Like,
it just
what's going on, dude?
Just absolutely beautiful, man. Like I literally, like I almost want to just talk more about like what it felt. Reba?
Shit.
You hear that little trail off at the end there? No growling.
She sounds just like Ollie's bitch ass.
I think I was actually Chico.
What do you think Rob Thompson's talking about, dude?
Hey, Chico. Cállate, cabrón. That's the problem with having like the kind of curtains you can see out of, but not in.
Still some fear in this dog. Yo. Okay. Settle down. Okay, you stink. Stinky.
He does, dude. Dog gotta get a shower.
The bed.
Dog shower.
Talking about meditating.
Alright, so-
quiet, peace of mind.
So, like, just to talk a little bit more about, like, what it felt like, man. It was real simple. All of a sudden, I just felt, like, present in the moment, excited about having a half hour completely to myself
Yeah.
with no distractions. And it was just beautiful, dude. And, like, coincidentally, I watched this video the day before by this monk dude that I like to listen to. And he says, he's like one of those like very modernized monks, but still has like the traditions and the practices. Yeah. Like he could probably fuck you up.
Probably.
But if he put on like just modern clothes, you'd never know. Right?
Yeah.
But what he said was, like we have two voices that live in our head that are both aimed at it in different directions. The one voice, he said, which is really common in the West, is your goal in life is to achieve and become something. And he was like, my experience with people in the West, that voice drives their whole life. And then he said there's this other voice in your head that knows that there's absolutely nothing to obtain. Like just being in your own skin in the moment and just living and enjoying and experiencing life is good enough. And like I sometimes feel like maybe, I don't know if like other cultures push that a little bit more, and I don't really know or care, but like I don't know, dude. It was kind of interesting how like in that moment I kind of realized like, yo, I'm in like a nothing place and it is fucking sick.
See, like I think it's important to say, like, you're not in like a nothing place. You're in like a calm place. It's like, I don't know. I just kind of like fucking word am I trying to think of? I just usually, when it comes to peace of mind, I don't like the nothing word, because that usually leads a lot of people like away from trying mindfulness practices and meditation.
Yeah.
Because they have that unreal, like it used to happen when I would take people through like 11-step meditations in RCA, and they would be like, I don't really meditate, dude. I keep thinking about stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you're alive. Like, you're like, you can't not do that, dude. Like, you would have to die. You can't just, unless you're enlightened. And I don't, like, there's maybe like 7 people that are, like, and you're not one of them. Trust me.
Unless you're sniffing wellies.
Yeah. Oh shit. The draft's like in full swing right now. But like, you said the wellies thing. It's just about like allowing your thoughts to flow freely without latching on to something, and like just maintaining like a very present mindset, and not, it's literally what the green card says, like not being in yesterday or tomorrow. It's just being in right here, right now. And I remember when I first had that moment, because like I used to meditate every day, and like I got up to the point where I could do it for probably like a solid 30 minutes, and it would feel like it was 5. And I'm also very happy that I did, even though I don't do it anymore, and I want to. I probably won't, but I really want to. It's like such a major part of the foundation of like of who I am now, and the foundation for a lot of like the tools that I have for anything that can crop up. Like I know that place is possible to tap into, and I have like little offshoots of that I can do in the moment. But knowing how to get to that place, and like also just doing it is, oh dude, it's literally like what they say, and just dedicate like 10 minutes to it, and the whole 23 hours and 50 minutes of the rest of your day is just going to be that much better because of it. It's so incredibly beneficial, dude. I miss it a lot. Yeah, I need to get back to it. I also need to get back to reading the green card every day, because that also used to help me.
Yeah, it's beautifully written, man.
Like I have that like now I'm just getting around to having like all of my recovery based routine outside of like prayer and meetings and talking to other alcoholics and service work is like kind of out the window. Like I used to read this 12-step prayer book that I had, or that I have. It's even in my passenger door now. Like I always keep it around, but I just never fucking open it. I have that daily devotion book that Todd gave me from our group. Not a big Jesus guy, but like I gained the same inspiration from that without like buying into the whole Christianity thing. So like it works for me. And yeah, I used to read the St. Francis prayer every day, because because that thing's sick, dude. The meticulous wording of that I really like. And then I would do like the daily and then I would do my nightly inventory every fucking night. And like life was growing fast and it got hard, but I just got complacent. Maybe I need to start this shit back up.
Yeah, I'm just excited to build on like small things, man, because I think that I almost realized, like in full circle from what I said a couple minutes ago, if I can have moments every day where my mind's quiet, the overwhelmed feeling is going to start to go way down. Like, dude, if I'm on overdrive at all times, you're not going to stay in it. I'm not going to stay in a good spiritual place. I just become this one big identity. and that identity is never good enough.
You're gonna get so weirded out by how like situations flowing through that filter of like a more like peace and serene kind of foundation, and like how you react to it instead. You're gonna get really weirded out by it, dude, because it's like I really should not be taking this so well. And like, what the fuck is wrong with me? It's really cool, dude. It's really cool. I used to just give myself that kind of time in the shower.
I used to give myself that kind of time in meetings. Meetings were meditation for me.
Oh yeah, I do that. I did start doing like a few years ago. I started doing like a mini meditation during How It Works.
Well, because like when I listen to a speaker, like the truth is I'm hearing what he's saying, he or she is saying, but I'm more or less thinking about my own life in
I can't
a
do speaker
meditative
meetings
way.
anymore. Yeah, I can't.
Like I'm not really listening to like the specifics of your story, as shallow as that sounds.
No, dude, I'm totally with you. Most of the time, just from default, like I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, I give a fuck, but what happens to me is like I was listening to Tony in the meeting.
Sure, you're people pleasing, dude.
What's that?
It sound like people pleasing.
What?
You don't give a fuck, dude. You trying to people please?
I give 1/100th of a fuck. The other
Now, are you
99...
trying to people please with me by saying you almost don't give a fuck?
No, hold on. So I give a fuck about the part of what you said that gets me to the place where I go inside. Yeah. The other 99%.
Dude, I care about.
I'm not
like,
even listening.
I care the fact that they're there and sober and alive, but like I'm just not really that attached to people's story, dude. Like I have my own. I probably know what yours is. If you have an obstacle I haven't been through before, like that's super cool. But like we're both meat sacks alive that have to do good today. Like yeah.
Well, yeah, like I just
kind of an asshole with that kind of stuff.
See, I think it makes sense though, man. Like when I was in the meeting and Tony was speaking, he was talking about trying in the very beginning. He talked about trying to get sober on his own.
I like Tony though.
That's all I thought about for the next 32 minutes before
you latch on.
Well, yeah, like what I did was I heard that and I started going back and experiencing it all over again. Yeah. Like I started thinking about like the snapshots and the feelings that I can remember of the low times of trying to do that. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, how shitty it felt to like fail and like the highs and the lows. Like, you know, you have a week where you don't use and you're telling all your fucking friends and you're fixed and you're so happy. And then the next week you're in handcuffs. You know, and like just going like this. But yeah, like I give a fuck about what somebody says that takes me in my own mind and spirit. But other than that, I'm almost not hearing anything.
Yeah.
So unless you make me laugh, I'll listen to you.
That is why I try to be somewhat like humorous and like self-deprecating to some degree, because I know that I'm gonna go on like a real dickhead rant, but like we don't people please, right?
Yep.
I think, dude, if you're gonna speak, let's see a bit of something. Like, get a little charismatic up there. Let's get some voice inflections. Let's get some imagery. Like, let's get some good words in there. Like,
you want the whole package?
I want a story, dude. What the fuck? Like, oh my God. I don't want like a black and white documentary. Like, I just like, give me a story, dude. You know what I mean? Like if David Attenborough was up there talking the way that he talks, I would fall the fuck asleep. You know? Like, I just I'm mostly serious, but like I need to be engaged, kind of like unless it's somebody that I find very interesting sharing. But I mean, I don't know, dude. That's why I say my story the way that I say it and why I talk the way that I talk, because like I get really bored in speaker meetings. And in early sobriety, they were a cop-out meeting. Like, oh yeah, I went to a meeting. I sat there and listened to somebody else talk the whole fucking time and I didn't do anything. Like, and then I stopped going to speaker meetings and like only started going to meetings where people would share, but then I wouldn't share and then it was the same thing. And yeah, I'm talking myself into a circle. But speaker meetings, I can't, unless it's people that I know and that I care a lot about. Then I'll listen and I can pay attention. You, I kind of fade in and out because like I know your story. But like every time somebody says their story, it sounds a little bit different and there could be something new. Um, yeah. You want to talk about something?
Same here, dude. I just don't. I don't know if I ever realized how I'm exactly the same way.
Yeah, I just like I just it's not like a lot of like I'm not that much of a dick, but I just like I would just rather not sit there and like listen to somebody's story the whole time. Like early on when it would like inspire me to be better and stuff, like that's fine, but and that's also why I try to not stay in like the what it was like too long anymore because it's tiring. It's tiring and I get bored of that. I don't know. We were talking about like meditation and a lot of really good shit before I started complaining a lot.
Dude, meeting meditation is where we were at. But nah,
Yeah.
man, it's dude, complain.
Meditation is the most underrated thing
Yep.
just in the world in general, but especially amongst like the recovery community.
Yeah, but no, dude, complain away, man. Let's not whitewash.
Oh, I got
this
it
thing
out.
too much. Yeah.
No, I got it out.
There's a lot of things that like I find I want to say that go more in the societal direction, but I stay away from that like the plague.
Yeah, like you got high, you fucked shit up. Now you're here.
Tell us a little bit about what it felt like, because people need to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, like, we don't care what bar you went to.
Yeah, like I'm much more interested about like you cheating like in sobriety and like how you actually like overcame that and like turned your life around from that perspective. Like how you got everything better and then you found out you were still a fucking piece of shit and how you fixed that. Just like I did, just like you did, just like everybody else did, because that's what it actually is.
Is it okay if you have 12 years sober and you're still doing that?
Yeah, dude. Are you alive? Yeah, it's okay to do that, dude. That's like that's another thing, and I'm actually glad that you said this because we're coming all the way back around to like when your buddy was talking about wanting a more simple life. When I find myself like being challenged a lot in life, it's so funny how we're just like snapping back onto topics. But that's my some people would say ADHD. Whatever. Somebody told me like really early on that nothing that is worth having is easy to get, which is just like one of the most useful lines that I've ever heard, and like the one that I keep in my pocket the most. Especially if I have like a goal that I'm focusing on and really trying to work towards, and I'm experiencing hardship in pursuing that goal. It's kind of hard to like discern a sign of it's the wrong thing to chase versus like an obstacle to overcome. That's a really hard thing to like pick apart and figure out like which is which. But it's also just like life is never going to not have challenges. But if it's like over challenging, like something is probably wrong, in my opinion, for me. But like if you don't want any challenges and like want to go back to simpler times, like you're just gonna have to like not be alive. Like I don't know. Like that's and it's the whole like yin and yang thing that Jordan Peterson talks about with like the Taoists or whatever. Like the whole chaos and order thing. Like things are always gonna like more calm times are always gonna pop up in the middle of like chaotic times. Chaotic times are always gonna pop up in the middle of like calmer times. And it's just the ebb and flow, and then the line in the middle is just like trying to ride that line as even keeled and as of sound, calm, and appropriate mindset that you possibly can. And it's just like challenges are it's like when one pops up, you want to cry about it, like that's fine, but at some point you got to get to like an accepting place of it, and it's just life.
It's funny how, sponsoring quite a few guys over the years and looking at my own shit. You know what's funny, dude? I challenge both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm in a chaotic time, I can't handle it, and when I'm in a calm time, I can't handle it. It's really funny though, dude. Like you ever like be in just a really blessed good time, and you realize hindsight somewhere that you've been fucking with it, complicating it, you know, beating yourself down, throwing little doses of chaos in there, little shots of lighter fluids, because we are prone to chaos on some level, I think. But then when it's super chaotic, all I'm saying is, I just can't wait till this is over. Like I say to Lauren all the time, like, I just can't wait till like this season of my fucking job is just over.
Right.
But then like I get to a calmer time and I'm not really happy with that either. Dude, I'm just going to take this away. Like it is all about quieting my mind.
Yeah.
Because the perspective that I have, like not just in the day, but like day after day after day, like if I don't override that and get back to a calmer place where I'm just sitting here doing nothing, not that the doing nothing is important, but I'm just in a connected place, it always goes the wrong way, one way or another. It's I feel like right now, like for me, that's the key. It's just like, yo, like sit on that couch with them dogs and look at the fucking wall.
Yeah.
And if you pick up a book and want to read a couple lines, read a couple lines. Don't go after the phone though. Fuck that thing. If you want to sit out on that chair over there and just look out in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm not good at chaos and I'm not good at calm. I told myself when I was good at chaos as an addict because I wanted some street cred. I fucking sucked at chaos, dude.
Just because you didn't die doesn't mean you weren't good at it.
Yeah,
or
like
just doesn't mean that you were.
I
good
just
at it.
like chaos in my life. It's like, no, you don't. Otherwise, what are you in a fucking meeting talking about it for? You don't like chaos.
Yeah,
If you liked
you're
it,
actively trying to make your life better.
Yeah, you'd be out there fucking around doing what you were doing. You don't like chaos, you fucking liar.
Oh, dude. Yo, I really think, I'm not trying to pipe myself up, but I really think talking to me a lot is like bringing a little bit of something out in you, dude. And I'm here for it. I love it. Fuck it, dude.
It's
Unapologetically
always,
yourself.
It's always in there, dude.
Fuck that shit. You just got to say it. Fuck it. Way too short, dude. Way too short. And you know what's great is like, we're going all over the place, but talk about chaos. I mean, this thing has just been a whole fucking whirlwind the whole time we've been doing this. And
well, it can never be linear though, dude.
No.
I've noticed that about this podcast. Like you and I sitting here talking linear about recovery topics is a pipe dream. It's all fucking connected and interwoven.
Well, that's because we're peeling, dude. We're peeling all day. That's what it's about.
I know. I just like it's funny to like even like we both have these times where we'll try to be like, we won't say it, but it's like, what were we talking about? Where were we going? Oh, but wait, we're all the way back here.
Yeah, dude. The self-deprecator in me like wants to blame that on myself, but it's probably both of us. I feel like I was gonna say something, but where are we going? Were we going a second ago?
Nowhere. We're going nowhere. Nowhere fast.
Yeah, I don't even know how long we've been doing this, dude. We'd probably wrap it up there.
Yeah, man. It was just good to get back at it and fucking peel and like get a little bit of intention to run with.
Yeah, we should.
I mean, let's face it, dude. Like, I got a microphone in front of me and there's a camera there, but this is all about me. In the end. Let's face it.
I mean, I would like to kind of tie a bow on stuff though, like my advice for like people that are suddenly going through a time that seems to be like more challenging than they think it should be, probably because, well, when I go through that, it's usually because I am I feel like I'm approaching things in general with like the wrong mindset. And I probably need to just look at how I handle shit and not just automatically blame it on the outside, because now we go back to like outside problems, inside solutions and all that shit, or outside solutions, inside problems. And I just like dive back into inventory, which like normal people out in society don't really get, but taking stock of like my side of the street and my life recently and how what I am bringing to the table for myself and to interact with the world and everybody else in it. Because usually I can find areas where I can improve, where I have unrealistic expectations, where I'm just simply not showing up for myself properly, where I am becoming complacent in things that I wanted to be more habitual with. And just the list goes on and on, dude. Like, and I am going to try to get back into all of these habits that I ratted on myself for. Because like my life was a bit more chaotic because I was also I was like 2 years sober, but my problems were just easier to spot, which kind of made it feel like there was a lot of them. And but I was able to deal with them properly and had a lot of positive experiences because of that. And yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do. And hopefully we see hopefully Howie isn't done yet. And hopefully Howie is just starts cooking the main entree tonight, dude. I'm expecting big things from
Howie has earned our trust, built our trust, proven himself, kicked ass. We used to hate him. We used to make fun of everything that came out of Philadelphia. We should believe in Howie. 1,000%.
Yeah.
I have full trust in him. We used to say, oh, every player that comes out of Philly goes in as a star for somebody else, but we suck. Remember that? Like people, like
that's what the Flyers are right now.
3-4 years ago, people would say like we have the worst player development of any team in the NFL. Mm-hmm. If you want to be a stud football player, start in Philly and go somewhere else. But nah, I think it's gonna go good, man. But back to what you just said right there, like I wanna just work on slowing it down, dude, and getting some of that inventory going too. Cause like last thing on inventory, this is where I start. And I'm never aware of it. Normal day, coffee in hand. This is where I end up that I don't like. Mm-hmm. Lazy, undisciplined, say something rude to Lauren, don't do something I said I was going to do. I start here and somehow I fucking get here. But if you would ask me, which my therapist kind of does, it's an interesting question. So like all the way from here to here, like where'd you go? Mm-hmm. I'm like, I have no fucking clue.
Oh, I always know, but I never deal with it.
You know those little half turns that you make. Mm-hmm. See, I don't think that my self-awareness has really gotten to that point.
But like when I say I was like religious with like all the inventory stuff, it's like that's just how my mind works. Like I'm always, like you know me, dude. I'm always an internal dude. Like that's where I'm always at. I'm never with like, I can say where somebody else like or something on the outside like set me like off course, but I will always end that part of the discussion with, I mean in the end it's just all me and my shit. That's how I always end it. Yep. Always end it. And I know what it is. Like yep. If I'm saying that I don't know, for me personally, I'm just fucking lying. I'm straight up lying, whether it's to like try to fool myself or somebody else. Like I know what it is, and I know that I'm not dealing with it. Maybe I just don't fucking want to, but like, I always know.
It's kind of a gift and a curse, man, because looking back on my 4th and 5th and looking at my 11th steps at night, they helped me see where I was going. Like, here's how I felt after the boss said that to me, and then here's ultimately what I did about it. Probably nothing. Mm-hmm. But like, I was able to see the movements I was making within those two places.
Yeah.
But I just feel like over the last like 5+ years, man, I've lost sight of that.
Which is
a problem.
Which is, well, a problem, but also okay. Right? Like having the patience of like realizing like like as long as you wake up and you come to that conclusion, and like we visited before, don't keep consciously choosing to do the wrong thing anyway, like you were before.
Yep.
Now that you've realized it, progress has to be made, or else things just might end up getting worse.
Yeah, and I guess based on what you're saying, man, like the wrong thing isn't all the way over here. It's probably here and here and here and here. And
Yeah.
it might be the littlest things, dude. Like, yeah, it's I don't know, man. I feel like I could do a lot more check-in work. Like, I always thought check-in, because we worked in rehabs, was the stupidest concept.
Dude,
What'd you do in group? Oh, we did check-in. The fuck is check-in, dude? But now it's like I understand that, like, you gotta see where you're at.
Oh my God! Do you remember like the mood chart that they would throw around? Like they were 5-year-olds, dude. Point to the face. Says how you feel. Angry face. I feel angry.
Then you got like the just undecided, like, I don't know.
You fucking
Cheer.
kidding me, bro? No, but like, I'm being a dickhead, but like that is trying to practice like being aware of like where you are. You know what I mean? It is trying to instill a good habit, but like pointing to a chart with a bunch of different like emotionally expressive faces is just like come on. You know what I mean?
You ever see those movies where they give a child who they think might be like a psycho, like a piece of paper, and depending on what the child sees is like how they decide.
Oh, what, like like an ink blot test or something?
Yep. It almost makes me think of that. Where are you on here? It's like, it's just wild, man. The check-in.
Yeah, man. It's powerful shit, and don't expect to be perfect, because it's really hard. And we keep saying we're gonna wrap it up, but I keep thinking of things to say. Like, somebody, I forget where or who, said like embarking on that kind of journey is like kind of like user beware kind of thing, because, excuse me, well, from my experience, it's like you can't, like, once that becomes a working part of your mind, unless you just like stay stagnant, you become so complacent with it for like ever that like it just escapes you. But it's hard to get rid of it. Like, you will most of the time be thinking of things, actions, words through a filter of like right versus wrong and self-critique and all that kind of shit. So not trying to like be like a martyr or something with it, but like it's fucking hard, dude.
It seems like first you gotta wake it up, and it's always there, but you just gotta give a little attention to it. But then you gotta make it productive somehow. And I think that's the part that I've teetered with a lot. Like, I think that there were literally like 6-month periods at a time where those nightly inventories that I would email to my sponsor every night were so productive. Like, I would never walk away from it like, you're horrible, dude, never. But then I think that like I started to kind of like adult a little too much.
I started to think that I could just do it in my head.
Yep. And there's too many committee members at the table. Like,
Yeah.
that'll never work.
Dude.
Like, my head,
I'm insane. Like, why did I ever think that?
this table would be full.
Yeah.
That guy's yelling. That guy never talks. That one's
There's
asleep.
50 Chicos barking around there.
Yeah. And I think that I'm like smart enough and present enough to just like work everything out in my mind.
But bro, like you said you never walked away from it just like, well, like that was fucking useless. Like, it's so weird how you ended up, I like the royal you, like I can say me, like I always ended up at a place of very graceful, like a very graceful critique, very graceful forgiveness, and like a calm but very at the same time like powerful motivation to do better the next day. And it was just like such a really like I don't really even know, it was such like a sweet spot to hit from like a spiritual place, dude. It was fucking sick. Like, and I used to sleep so good thanks to that, dude. Like, even if I had just got done talking about like something shitty that I did, but like I wrote a lot about it, and I just went through like this whole, like I felt this like therapeutic wash just like go through me. And then for whatever reason, dude, I would sleep like a baby because I knew the next day I was going to try to make it right, whatever it was.
Yeah, just like a right sizing, dude. Like
Yeah.
here's where I'm at. Here's what's jiving. Here's what's not. Like it's just really cool to see like where you what you are and what you're not. And like it gives me more of a lens to like have a grace to work on what I'm not. But then the next morning when I would do my 11 steps, dude, I would go ham. So question 3 on the evening review. Have you done it? Have you done anything that should be discussed with another person at once? I would just use that as a free flow. I would literally be like, well, here's what I've been thinking. I'd write my sponsor like 2 pages, and that fucker would write back at the next morning every time. Like 1 out of 30 times he would give me a response. He would say, thanks. It's like, dude, I just wrote you 2 pages and all I get is thanks.
That's funny. You know what's
Peaceful,
weird?
serene humility mixed with just tiny little resentment the next morning.
Yeah. I still wish I could have met that guy, man. You know what's crazy is we, like real early in this conversation, we talked about like the overly strict like critique and like violently holding ourselves accountable. And then we inadvertently ended up at a spot where we were describing action that we took in dealing with those shortcomings in a better way that left us with like a more calm and effective critique and like viewpoint of our shortcomings rather than like the one we were talking about before. And we just ended up there, like natural flow of the conversation.
No linear.
That's why I love this shit, dude.
Me too, man. Like it just, you go back to where you need to go back to at the right time.
All you gotta do is talk.
Because there's nothing that I can ever say on this podcast that's new.
No,
like
not at all.
CB used to always say, there is no such thing as original wisdom, only original stupidity. And I truly believe that. So, but we'll go Birds, go Howie.
Go Howie. And I want to do like more, I want to make a lot more shorts of like stuff that we do. I want to change like the format of like the audio and stuff a little bit. We need to start throwing the socials in. I want to kind of like kick this into like another gear. The other podcast that I'm on, like Josh was working so hard and like doing so much like crazy shit with everything. Like it's really inspiring me to be better. So hopefully I deliver, and yeah, hopefully everything kind of kicks up a notch.
Just let me know what you need from me, bro.
I will.
I don't really have like the site on that, like the, you know, so.
It's all right, dude. It's stuff that I like to do. Do you have anything for the people?
I have so much for the people, but I've said it all.
Okay. So, no. Yo, I do want to say, what do you think about like college kids that are wearing like the crop top jerseys that show a little bit of belly? Like, how does that make you feel? You into that?
It gives me anxiety because I feel like it would ride up. Are you talking about like in the NFL?
I don't see it. I don't see the crop a lot in the NFL. It's a lot in college.
The
Like
crop top.
like it's like it ends like right here, and then you start seeing it looks like a jersey that's too small.
I don't like it.
It's weird.
Yeah, I don't like
It's
it.
weird.
I'm
I'm out on it.
I'm very particular about how the length of any kind of shirt that I wear.
Oh, just in general. For
Just
sure.
in general.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I know crop top's a different world, but like I don't want anything coming like to my belt.
Well, dude, I've had to graduate to the XL recently.
Because I'm 40 now, and if I reach down, you're gonna see straight ass crack, dude.
I've had to graduate to the XL recently.
So I'm XL in some brands. I'm large in some brands. Just gotta own it, dude.
Yeah.
Just gotta own it.
Yeah.
Old man strength is a thing.
Whatever. So yeah, I guess we'll end it there. And were you gonna No.
No.
God bless
I'm
you.
gonna prep an ending for this, dude. I really am.
I started doing the outro. Like, I really wish that we were scripting this kind of shit. No, I don't. I guess I'll say this at the end. If you search Peeling Onions on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your podcast, you'll find us. I'm gonna have to come up with a graphic and like get the handles in here. If what would really help us is like liking the video on YouTube, liking the Facebook page, sharing the Facebook page, following us on Instagram, leaving a review or just liking or leaving a rating on the podcast page wherever you're listening to this. And because it would actually be kind of cool if we just got to do this. You know what I mean? Like if this just ended up being like a thing that we could just do. It probably won't, but
It
you
would
never know
be
until you try.
It would be absolutely incredible. But one thing on that, anybody that drops comments, we would love to have them because this is not people pleasing, by the way. I would just love to like talk about things or dig into things that is meaningful to people. So like, please leave comments and let us know like just what you're connecting to and what you're not.
Yeah. Let us know what you think could be better. If you have anything you would wish to hear us discuss. I think you're a psychopath for wanting to listen to us, but yeah, we welcome any and all suggestions.
And any criticisms Jeremy will listen to on repeat like David Goggins. So
Yeah, as I run 30 miles a day at 4:00 in the morning with no shoes and splits in my shins. The dude's a nutcase. So with all that being said, until next time, God bless you. We love you, and we hope you heard something that helps you. God bless.